Hello, all. This is Dr. Priyanka Mathur, your host, and thank you for tuning in to our podcast, MedLife Scoops with Dr. Priyanka, where we engage with bright minds in the field of innovations and healthcare. Now, have you ever wondered what thoughts scientists and academics have? You don't get to meet scholars very often, but I'm here presenting our guest today for this episode, a neuroscientist, AI enthusiast, innovator, and investor in healthcare and climate, Dr. Umair Mehmood. Dr. Umair, welcome, a heartfelt welcome to Dr. Umair, visionary partner of MediPocket Cross-Border Care in the UAE and MENA regions. Your commitment to making quality healthcare accessible globally is truly inspiring. We have the honor of unraveling your untold stories and sharing them with our curious listeners worldwide. Your journey embodies innovation, and we are excited to explore the transformative vision that makes you a leader in reshaping the world of healthcare. Thank you for joining us on MedLife Scoops, where your stories captivate and motivate our audience. Welcome, Dr. Umair.
Thank you very much, and I really feel honored. It's great to be part of MedLife's group. Thank you very much for inviting me.
So, as we delve into your life's untold chapters, Dr. Umair, can you share with us 3 captivating facets that most might not know about you? Like, these hidden stories are the essence for your extraordinary journey, and our audience are eager to be captivated. What intriguing dimensions have shaped the visionary we have with us today?
I think it was not me, it was my father. He was a doctor, and what he did was something remarkable, and that inspires me. Even to date, it inspires me. He had set up an idea, and he followed that with conviction, that people out there in the desert deserve access to the healthcare facilities. And he, in a very short span of time, I think a decade or nearly a decade, he set up 22 hospitals in the desert, and all integrated on a model that would promote like public-private partnership, and he had dedicated his life for the people who live out there in the desert. So I think that was for me a turning point, and it was such an inspiration that I'm still, until this day, I'm not able to catch up with it. So no, and nobody knows it. This is the first time I'm just narrating this. Provision of healthcare facilities, healthcare services in the xeric environment of desert was at that time unheard of. I'm talking about like 70s, mid and late 70s, and at that time, somebody who just took it on heart and launched a crusade, and saved lives, number of lives. So he was a missionary, and I'm truly inspired by him, and I just try to reach up to him.
Amazing. So it looks like it's in DNA. It's like father, like sons. Now let's take you to rewind the clock then and explore the genesis of your journey. And taking a leap from Pakistan to Dubai, you have become a global health visionary. Can you illuminate the pivotal moments that led you here and share the challenges of being an immigrant, forging without any connections, and navigating uncharted territories as a young and ambitious professional?
Well, yeah, moving to Dubai was a considerate decision, first of all. But then, yeah, with every possible relocation, that to a full-scale family relocation comes challenges. But I think I was very, very lucky in that sense. I didn't face much hardships. Actually, I didn't face any. There was always someone who was there to receive me on the airport, and I had number of countless, I should say, blessings in shape of connections, in shape of brotherhood that I say, when I call my Emirati colleagues and friends. Dubai is one place on earth where we have people from like 190 different countries or from all over. And that's one place on earth that proved lucky for me as well. I think I'm really grateful to my friends, to my neighbors, to my colleagues, to everyone who was with me in Dubai. And it's been really, really a pleasure rather than a challenge.
And I would resonate with that because when I met you first time, which was in Dubai, my first official visit in Dubai last year for a healthcare conference, it is definitely the land very different, which the outside world truly doesn't, I think, know the full potential and the full variety that Dubai offers. But definitely, I would say it's not only just very progressive, but it's also one of very safe place, I think, on earth.
Absolutely.
So that I was amazed to see that when during my visit. Now, we would like to talk about your experiences, and you have extensive work, including collaborating with royal family offices in Dubai and contributing to significant government projects in the GCC region. Now, can you share a captivating instance where you navigate the fine line between the aspirations of influential figures and the transformative reality, leaving them truly astonished? If you can paint a vivid picture of a moment when your expertise forged remarkable transformation in the field of healthcare.
Well, at some point, we were working with few patients with encephalomalacia, and at some point gliosis, and generally they have to be on medication. And we were trying a technique called NCBT. Post MRI, there was acoustic biomodulation and a combination of magnetic deep brain stimulation. And at that time, we found out that we were really very close to a scientific breakthrough. And that was perhaps the first time I've really, really felt like delving in deep into the research and the quest for the unknown and all that excitement that comes with it. That was really, really a moment I cherish, and that adrenaline rush that you feel, I think that's amazing. And since that point, I love living that moment every single minute, every single day, every single hour. And I think that is essence of the research, and that gives you sometimes goosebumps, sometimes you feel frustrated, sometimes you feel winning, sometimes you're so close, sometimes you are about to catch the frequencies, or sometimes you are able to stimulate PPNs, or so I think all that excitement and adrenaline rush that comes with being a researcher is truly, truly rewarding and remarkable in my life.
I think I have to tell my audience, in medicine, there's like specialization, and every specialization have gradings, and neuroscientist sits on the top of that grading because it's a really complex part of the body that you deal with, right? It's as it's written and said. So far with science, we have only be able to explore 10% of the potential of our brain. So it's really complex, they're really interesting. And now I would like to go more into history a little bit. And the history is, let's say, if you could have a front row seat to witness any groundbreaking moment in the history of medicine, what would it be and why? And if we can dive into the realm of possibilities and uncover the historical health event that fuels your passion for healthcare innovation.
Well, there are a number of them, you see, starting from the discovery of antibiotics. But I think that something really amazing that has potentials beyond the call of or beyond just mere comprehension that we have today is discovery of techniques that involve precision genomics. So now we can, for example, repurpose and reprogram tumor cells, for example, using mRNA. We can do number of things that were considered impossible. We can deliver drugs. We can activate or enhance mitochondrial performance. So now we are talking about neurodegenerative diseases and all that comes with it. Parkinsonism. So number of diseases can absolutely vanish. So I think the potential, when you use the word potential of precision genomics, is yet to be discovered fully, but it has the promises that we cannot even imagine today.
Advancement that's happening or started in the past, but right now with this power of new techniques and technology, especially now the world is all about AI, AI and now this generative AI, seeing that in healthcare, integration in healthcare is really truly transformative for us as a healthcare professionals, I would say. And, I think the future, as you're saying, holds a big potential if it is used in a right proportion, I always say. Talking about the present then and the future a little bit, as we touched about the technology in the current time. With your extensive background both in neuroscience and AI, how do you see the integration of these disciplines revolutionizing healthcare practices and environmental sustainability efforts? If you can a little bit touch on those points.
This is a very interesting question. To me, the future looks like amalgamative. I don't see interdisciplinary crevices existing in future anymore, which means that there is going to be lots and lots of, when I say that, interdisciplinary collaboration, even at the undergrad levels, when the young researcher, aspiring scientists or aspiring physicians, they come together, and these barriers, these crevices, they are going to vanish. That's the first thing that I see. So tomorrow's physicians are going to be dietitians at the same time, and at the same time they're going to be like genetic engineers, and you need that in order to have in order to tap those advancements that are happening at such a rapid scale and at such a fast pace. Now, coming to this marriage of AI with all that healthcare innovation that we see, I think it is inevitable. It was always inevitable. You cannot do without it. On one side, it is going to have implications towards how we do treatments, purely on the clinical facets. But on the other side, there is also a lot in the Pandora of research in the future. For example, we might replace mouse models with AI models, right? So we can have near accurate data. We can have propel the research in real-time environment, or as I say, in the space-time continuum. Then we can have a number of simulations. So it will have healthcare education, healthcare delivery, healthcare efficiency, healthcare research, and you name it. So it is it is going to usher a new era, and I think it already has in the healthcare, and it's going to be truly, truly amazing.
Now, with this one, as you have covered a lot of areas in the healthcare, which is very promising with the technology, is there any particular area? Because we know that you're very, a big advocate on mental health. Do you see this AI contribution into advancement in mental health treatment and neurological researches in that area?
Well, yes, at some point it is controversial as well. Mental health is so, what should I say, stigmatized in some ways or the other, that it has contributed a lot in exclusion. We call it inclusion, and we have experts for inclusion. But when you are labeling someone with a disease based on symptoms, for example, or based on prima facie differential diagnosis, as we call it, and not really going deep into the biology of that psychological outcome, I think that on one side is atrocious, but on the other side it is also inaccurate and unjust. And that's going to change a lot when you, with neuroscience, or with advancements, or with explosion of information on electrical and like hemodynamic activity that we have discovered by virtue of neuroscience research. This is going to change. First, there are going to be number of diseases that they are going to vanish, I believe. Second, it is going to impact large populations at a large scale, and they're going to reduce neurochemical interventions or dependency on psychiatric medicine, as I would say, in the human populations to a greater extent. Third, it is going to come up with innovative ways, methods, means, techniques, and usher a new era in treatment of such mental ailments, neurological or neurocognitive or neuropsychiatric conditions. Last but not the least, humanity should have sort of an immunization mechanism against mental diseases or mental conditions. Just like we have immunization against virulent diseases, why not we can have such a mechanism at national scale, for example, that we can identify and plug the loopholes in human self-esteem, for example, or we can provide a conducive environment for growth of human conscious, or growth of human brain, for that matter. That implicates our education system, that implicates the way we are training infants, and you look all over. And I think nations, or at the global scale, or at the scale of World Health Organization, we need something. We need a collaborative mechanism of preventive healthcare in the mental health care.
Especially this I think the first time the word that you have just coined, immunization for mental health. That's quite a term. And to be honest, if you think, as you're explaining, if the society come together, the government come together and make those norms, that's what this immunization in mental health, it will change it from a disease to preventative part of it, not just curative. The listeners, the young doctors, the entrepreneurs that are listening to our podcast, I think this is the problem, solve it. Now, I would like to talk a little bit about your ventures, because you have very impactful ventures you're part of. As the president of WePelicans and Baloch Royal Investments, your leadership holds immense potential. What visionary goals do you aspire to achieve with these organizations in the future? Specifically, how do you plan to revolutionize the landscape of healthcare, presenting an exciting prospect for fellow entrepreneurs, founders, and investors keen on impactful ventures?
Well, I hardly passed in math, so I was so far away from the field of private equity investing and all that, and it just came in by accident. Being part of a team of researchers at Behavioral Sciences Research Center, and then later when I moved to Dubai with the good graces from His Highness Sheikh Majid bin Mohammed, he had set up, or he had patronized, that Majid bin Mohammed Learning Center in Dubai. We were at all times welcoming innovation. So in order to fuel innovation, we needed an environment, a conducive environment where young researchers won't feel deprived of that essential support in terms of capital injection at some time. Or at one point we felt that the research should not only be presented, it should be commercialized. And that time we felt the need of a private equity resource center, or a private equity which is known as Musharaka in this part of the world, a center that can participate, that can encourage capital participation into the research and fuel the research to begin with, and then commercialize the outcomes of research. So that was the whole idea. So far we have been able to commercialize some 30 different ventures that are not directly related to healthcare, or not all of them, but they have a collaborative approach towards impacting our lives as humans. For example, in the micro scale bioeconomy, for example, in electronic mobility, or in security, in physical security and anomaly detection, for instance. So first of all these ventures are research oriented. All these ventures are innovative, and we want to take it further, a step further. We want to finance innovation. We have, in last 20 years, made some amazing relationships here in Dubai. And there are people with very kind heart and with deep pockets at the same time, and they want to contribute their part. Only for the reason that it is going to fuel innovation, and it helps both ways. It generates profits that are unprecedented, and at the same time it gives you that deep-rooted satisfaction that you have done something really, really amazing, and something truly, truly inspiring and trailblazing. So that's how it initiated, that's how we were instituted as a private equity investment company, and that's how we are trying to fuel that innovation. Now, combining it with the potential of youth, we have started a program that is called Spark Fund. So we are going to identify the very spark of innovation in youth, and going to finance that or fuel that in a profit loss sharing musharaka model, or a partnership model. On the other side, we have a youth empowerment strategy, a YES we call it. So YES is going to encourage youth in terms of inclusion of especially women, young researchers. So there are going to be like a number of Marie Curies in the future that will try to inspire, and that will try to ignite their potential towards research. At one point I was training some amazing teachers locally here in Dubai with the Ministry of Education, and there was a teacher of physical education, another teacher I remember, she taught English, and they both presented papers in an international conference on application of brain research in education. And they studied neuroscience for like 2 months, and they were able to present their papers in their own environment. So that's something where I saw potential, and I felt the need of an investment company attached to what we are doing in the research. So that's what we are trying to do. That's how it's different.
It's very impactful, especially the two programs that you just mentioned towards youth, the Spark and YES. If you're taking these globally, then I think there are a lot of young entrepreneurs with great minds. They just need a platform. They need the teachers like you, the innovators like you, who don't only think as an investor, but they think as an impactful innovators. And I know you are a very big advocate also on the climate, because I know it's like anything that affects humans directly, whether it be a healthcare or a climate. So I know you also have a great initiative on the climate. Is there any particular one like the Spark and Yes on the towards climate initiation? It's like was going back in time. Back in time it was like that. Like people used to be doing things together, whether it be growing or anything, and the barter system, right? As you're saying, commercialization can be in various forms. It doesn't always have to be related to, just the money, but it could be in various forms. And this barter system, I think what you're saying, it will not only bring the society, but the families together. And these days, though we live next to each other in apartments or, but we really don't know each other because there's no interaction. So we are still living in silos, like everybody's there. So I think this is such a great initiative. And when you were talking about the cities, I can definitely see New York using it really good. Similarly, in India, Bombay, it's a great initiative, We Tree. And I would like to mention, because I had a pleasure meeting your wife, she's not just beautiful, not just humble, she is full of, I think she's a backbone. See, behind every man, there is a woman. I'm just taking a leap of saying from my side, but I met her. She is so energetic. And I would, there's so many achievements that you have. And as we were just talking, behind every achiever, there's often a guiding light. Can you share the inspirations or role models in your life that propel you forward on your journey, urging you to surpass milestones and never look back? You talked about your father, which I think is the biggest role model, inspiration you have. Are there any other in your life that you look as for inspiration?
When I try looking up to my father, I feel minute. I feel tiny. And I lost him when I was a student. I still feel that he is with me at times. So yes, he is that figure, not only that he was my father, he was an iconic person. He was a restless soul. He lived for humanity. And that's what I'm trying in my life, to be like 1% of him. That's one. Besides, when I lost my father, and I needed someone who could guide my steps, who could watch me, who could help me with navigating through my mistakes, for example, or giving me that continued kinetic energy to be able to do what I can do or what I'm supposed to be doing in this life. So I met with a person. It was late 2007, and he looked like a businessman. He is a business person, but he steered my conscience to a very straight line. He induced that courage that comes with being honest and being truthful. He induced that very essence of living for people, living for humanity. And he was exact replica of how I would look up to, like a fatherly figure. So truly a mentor. Whatever I was able to achieve until this point today, talking to such an inspiring leader in healthcare like yourself, it is all him in me. And with every single day, I'm able to charge my own neurons with that inspiration. But that comes with absolute righteousness, and still I'm too far away, or I'm still trying to be like that, or trying to achieve that part of that righteousness that I'd locate in him. His name is Mr. Muhammad Irfan Ali, a very humble soul, very inspiring person, but he has that fervor, amazing amount of that, what should I say, the passion for humanity. Whatever you do, you live every moment for the sake of humanity, and that has I would say I give all the credit to him. Sometimes I'm stuck in my scientific inquiry, for example, and he's the door opener out of nowhere. So that's something, and I think every researcher should have one like him.
It feels like we want to meet him now. So it's truly inspiring, and not only this part, but your journey itself, the mirror, I think a captivating storyline that we just heard, involving influential figures and impactful projects that you have done. I will conclude this enlightening conversation, and we're eager for the pulse of wisdom from you now, Dr. Umair, for young professional, immigrants, and aspiring change makers. What would be the 3 pieces of advice would you give to them as a visionary in health and innovation to offer to guide them on their path to make substantial impact in the world?
I'll try to combine 3 things together, or 3 ingredients together in one. And that is, locate your passion, locate your spark, and work on it. Now, when we say that, how we say that in neuroscience, there are a number of multiple aptitudes, or multiple intelligences, or multiple this, multiple that. But there is always one area, one peculiar area that we call area of specific affinity, which looks like, like dominant and recessive genes or something. So that's one area of our intellectual ability we are gifted with, or we are blessed with. We need to locate that. At some point, it would be located by mother or by close relatives, especially in our social settings in East. But now with the pace of family life, or with the pace of this work-life balance things, when everyone is working and everyone is trying to achieve something real fast, not knowing what, it has become difficult. So we have we have an instrument that is pretty much a neurocognitive assessment that plots that very area of specific affinity. For example, somebody, a child at the tender ages of 7 years, where you are able to do multiple classification tasks, is detected with being a nanotechnologist, a great nanotechnologist in the future. So the initial upbringing, the education system, or the family environment or domestic environment should all be conducive. That is the focus. Now, in the youth or in everyone, we need to locate that spark in ourselves, locate that passion in ourselves. How we can do that? Try identifying what gives you the pleasure of going an extra mile, that gives you energy, that deprives you from that need of an escape, or even the weekend, and you can work on it restlessly, and you gain energy more you delve into it. That is your passion. We need to locate that. Once we have located it successfully, and that's where the trick is, then it will guide your way. For the youth, if we really want to make a mark on this planet, if we really want to make our presence felt, that we lived, that's only way. Locate your spark, work on it, forget about what you will achieve, forget about running behind anything, forget about chasing your dreams of owning a Lamborghini or something. Everything will come chasing you. Locate your spark and work on it. that's something that I can say with full force, with full conviction.
I think that is the most crucial part, the passion, as you said. And also you pointed out with these young generation right now, they find passion in everything, and that's not the passion. As you know, it has to be something which very rightly you pointed out that makes you restless. You don't look for escape, and that's when the passion comes, when you restlessly can work for something without looking for results or gain out of it, but it's the path and the work that you do towards it. It's truly words of wisdom, not only just for the young, but I think for every one of us. Your journey is an inspiration, and your insights will undoubtedly leave a lasting impact on our listeners, lightening the way for their own paths to greatness. And your time and stories are truly invaluable to us, and we extend our heartfelt thanks for sharing them with MedLife Scoop. Thank you so much for joining and telling your inspiring stories, and few untold ones like your father that we heard for the first time today.
Thank you so very much for inviting me to MedLife Scoop. Thank you so very much for this wonderful interaction. And I wish really all the best for MediPocket, for yourself, for MedLife Scoop. And I hope you keep connecting people. I hope you keep enlightening their path. And I hope that you keep providing what you are providing at MediPocket. You're saving lives. You are giving hope to those who have lost hope. And that's again truly inspirational, and I draw inspiration from your personality. Thank you very much. That's why I call you my sister.